say you can always tell where the natives are, like what groups are. Like you go to a conference, you just kind of listen, and the group that's laughing the loudest will be native people. And that's where you head.
That's the party.
Those are my people.
That's the party. Yes.
Every socio-economic and political situation that we face as indigenous peoples, women's voices are the voices of resistance and the voices of leadership in their community. So places like Hedgebrook offer the opportunity for those voices to be born into words.
When I write, it's so quiet that I can hear the pencil on paper. And for me, that's just joyful. So I've been writing new work and then revising a lot of poems. To be here is by itself such a wonderful gift, but to be here with Native women, that's like a blessing on top of blessings.
When I think of Native women writers, I think about oftentimes the limited access that we have to programs like this. We really need to remember the past, and we really need to be proactive on where we're going to go in the future, because life on this earth is a very precious and special gift, and I feel like a lot of places that's kind of been forgotten. The teachings we have as Native people can remind us about the sacredness of everything that gives us life each and every day.
Being here this week with Natives is wonderful, and it's a celebration. There's just a lot of laughter, and it's always great to be together because often we're the only Native person at the table. I have just come back from a month in Oklahoma. I've been on the reservation interviewing people, and I've found historical material that relates to membership and governance. I'm delighted to have this week to work on essays about that. And in my experience in the literary world, the misperceptions that people have about the Native community colored the way people read my work and how they understood it. So for me, to be with Native writers is a chance to just start at a higher level.
While I'm at Hedgebrook, I'm working on a book, which if I finish it will be my first book. Being here has done so much for it already, which I was surprised by because I've been here only a couple of days. It's been a total pleasure to be with all these Native women writers this week. I love it. I feel so comfortable and at home. I can really go into it without worrying about when I have to come out.
I've been working on a piece around sovereignty, just trying to get some very clear writing on what tribal sovereignty is about. I have accumulated years and years and years of knowledge, and I want to be able to utilize it. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at Hedgebrook. I'm resting. I have a lot to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it, whatever it takes. It's going to be hard. And this is the space that's going to renew me.
Being a Native woman writer, you have a family and you have a tribe, you have a community, and that is part of the work of your life. And then you have stories to carry. And so being able to be at a table where everyone understands that's both a pressure, which is how it's most often described in broader American culture, but it's also a blessing. I think that there isn't another way of understanding that except being at a table like the one created here at Hedgebrook. Plenty of residencies exist, but none that I'm aware of exist in this sort of capacity. The curation and the funding mean everything because it means you're walking into a space that feels intentional and safe and welcoming and warm.
That doing more things like this and having them be very in the public eye could make a huge difference for young Native women who are starting out in arts.
Writing poetry is to remind people of who they are, of their own strengths, of the challenges that all of us go through, and particularly our ancestors, because, think about it, how would we be here if they had not suffered, if they had not gone through all kinds of trials, but they were determined and they prayed so hard.
There's a concept my mother taught me about generosity and about giving that I reflect on quite a bit. whatever you give comes back to you 7 times greater. And in some ways, you know, the writers and the artists and the thinkers are those who see the clearest. They are finding the source of things and finding the residual shadows of things and bringing it to the forefront.
I've been sitting here the last couple of days thinking about how important place is. And Hedgebrook offers the kind of place for reflective thinking. It's how we ground ourselves in our voices.